All right. Welcome, everyone. This is our CBD 101 info call. Sometimes we are in here packed to the nines with all of the people, and sometimes life is super crazy. And even though people want to be on, just like we want to be able to go meet our friend for dinner or coffee or whatever, a replay is the best. So I want to say that tonight is a small, intimate group, but there are so many people that I know that just couldn't make it that are wanting the replay. So whether you are taking the time out of your day to join us live or whether you're going to be watching the replay, I just want to say thank you for sharing your time with us and for listening and for being open to something that is expansive. I'm going to make sure that my phone isn't making any noise here. There we go. That is expansive and exciting. And I really do believe that not everything that we learn in life is for us all the time. Like, I don't think that we need to have people come here and agree with everything that we say, but I know that we hear everything we're supposed to hear at the time we're supposed to hear it, and it resonates when it's supposed to hear it. So, whatever you're here to get tonight, I'm just really excited for you, whether it's a little bit more education on something you didn't know about, whether it's finally that final piece that clicks in that you're like, wait a minute, I don't have to live this way anymore. Maybe I can try this. Or whether it's just you here supporting, I think maybe your daughter, I think Auntie's mom is on. And you are like, how can I just lift up and support my daughter and love her by knowing more about what she's doing and leaning into it? So, thank you for spending your time with us and being here. My name is Lindsay Gray, and I have been with Green Compass since I joined as a customer in August of 2023. And in November of that same year, I decided that this was it for me. So I was with another company for 10 years in the same space. And it was a blessing. Always. I want to say, and I almost said right there, it was a blessing until it wasn't. But I want to say it's always been a blessing because if it wasn't what it was in my life then, I would never have been the person that um, would be able to hold the beautiful opportunity that I'm able to hold here now. So it's been a blessing always, but it just wasn't aligned anymore. I was actually going through a divorce, and that was really hard for me because I had to reframe my whole life's existence of believing that divorce was not an option on my table. I had to battle a lot of internal things and beliefs, and as we do in all different areas of life. But it was one that was really defining for me, and it's one that I actually lost myself in. So I found Green Compass at the time where I was crying on my kitchen floor in the middle of dishes, listening to worship music, just grief cry all over my face, crying myself to sleep at night in moments that I thought that my children weren't paying attention. But my favorite part of the story is that my now 11-year-old, then 9 and 10-year-old would just be there with his arms around me at one point. And I remember thinking I was such a bad mother because I'm supposed to be holding him up and he's not supposed to be seeing these emotions of mine. I'm supposed to be strong and steady. And that's the first time that God had shown me that no, actually, you're supposed to be real, and how beautiful that in his experience, he gets to learn how to hold space for people he loves like this. So, this place has blessed me in every area that it possibly could, be it physically, financially, emotionally, and spiritually. And it's one that I love sharing with others because I have such a story in all of those areas. And I think when you have something in your life like that, you cannot not share it. It would be a disservice for me to not scream it from the rooftop. So as much as sometimes I'm like, I don't know if these people want to hear this anymore, how could I feel the way it's moved every space of my life and not gift it to whoever's ready to receive it next? So for me, I reached out to Tabitha, who's actually on here. She had a story of anxiety that she was battling with her whole life, and she started sharing about this product that had made such an impact in her life. And I was just like, I don't know what she's talking about because I've heard of CBD and I've tried it and it hasn't worked for me. And I don't know how it works and I don't understand it. But what I do know is that Tabitha only does things she believes in. She only talks about things that she believes in, and that her anxiety is real and has been real and has been a battle of hers for as long as I've known her, and that's been a long time. So I reached out and I asked her about it. I got it in August, and for me, when I started the product, I started feeling a difference right away. And I'm so grateful for that because instant gratification is something we all love, but it was something that not only was I love, I'm patient though too, but I also needed. I needed to feel a wave of relief and I needed to feel a breath of air to be able to take the next step in my life. Because the truth is that my income was going down at my other place and my marriage was exiting, and I felt like I was looking around and watching the world crumble all around me. And I was taking these little parts that my children were standing on and trying to hold them up while like balancing on one big toe. That is how I can describe it to you. That is literally how it felt. And I knew I needed a breath. So I'm really grateful that for me, I got that instant relief. Now, it doesn't always work instantly because I like to explain it um like a parking lot. So throughout the years, environmental aggressors, stress, different things will take these spaces and make them empty. And so you are walking around with a half full parking lot, an almost empty parking lot, a space, maybe there's just a couple spaces open. So typically CBD and hemp, they go in and they fill these spaces. So sometimes it can take a while for people to really truly feel the effects. I felt that once and then twice. I felt the instant relief right away where I remember I was laughing and I realized I was really laughing and I wasn't forcing it because I knew my kids needed to hear me laugh at a joke that I couldn't even really process because I was too tired. I noticed I was really laughing. I was really playing again. And then 3 months later, I realized I experienced the buildup when my 7-year-old said something to me and I literally stopped and I just stared in his face. And I was like, wait a minute, when has your voice been like your voice is so cute. I forgot how cute it is that you say your R's like that and like your face and your eyes, like have you always been this cute? And of course I'm emotional and just eating this up, but then physically eating him up because he's so cute and he's giggling and he had no idea the impact of that moment for me, but that's the moment I knew I would never stop sharing this. So with that being said, I like to start with that because I truly believe that we could go into who is Green Compass and what is CBD, and it could go one ear and out the other for some, unless you are connected to a way of how and multiple ways of how it can really touch people's lives. So I hope that I opened up your heart a little bit to kind of just hear the stories tonight and think of like maybe relating it to you or to someone that you know in your life that may need the breath and the wave of change like I experienced. So, who is Green Compass? Green Compass was founded by Meredith Cook. She is a mother and was going through a lot of different postpartum things. She actually was trying lots of CBD. Her brother Brooks was a triathlete and he was like, try the CBD. It really helps with inflammation and pain and anxiety and all of that. And she started using it and she found that she did have relief with it. But depending on the bottle that she bought, she didn't get consistent things across the board. So she started doing her research and she started realizing that CBD is very much unregulated. The industry is unregulated. What it says is in the bottle. It doesn't even need to be in the bottle. A lot of places use all the types of the plant. There are many things that set us apart, but she was like, I'm on a mission to give mothers and children and triathletes and families a clean product that they can trust 100% because I need it for me and my family. I want to know what's in this bottle. So I'm going to create that for the world. And she really has done amazing. Her and her husband Sterling partnered with some sixth generation farmers who were actually friends of Sterling's. They had already actually started growing hemp. They've been doing organic farming for a long time, and they were sweet potato farmers as well. And they have a 5 mile radius of organic soil around the hemp, which is huge because hemp is a scavenger plant. So it actually absorbs anything in the soil and the air that is pollutants, which leads me to tell you why a lot of our CBD people will take and it will actually cause anxiety or they feel like they're not getting effects because a lot of our CBD that you can just get anywhere comes from China and places where they actually use hemp to clean the air and the soil, and then they grind it all up, create CBD, and give it to us, and we ingest that. So, what you're taking absolutely matters, and I want to invite you to erase any experience you've had with hemp and CBD if it has never been with this company, and just adopt a brand new opinion about it here. Common questions that we have is what is CBD? So, it is hemp. Hemp is a cannabis plant, but it's not the cannabis plant you are thinking of. It is not marijuana. There's a male and a female version. These are two separate plants. And so CBD is a cannabinoid that comes from the hemp plant. So hemp has a lot of CBD, very little to no THC, where the cannabis marijuana plant is going to have a lot of THC, little to no CBD. They're two different plants, two different experiences. With CBD, there's no high. You're not going to have a psychoactive, I believe is what they say, effect. You're actually looking for an absence of. So where people use the other to experience a feeling, you are using this to diminish a feeling. I like to say it's a silent healer because it comes in and all of a sudden one day something that would have made you literally blow your mind 2 days ago is like, it's no big deal that day. And you're like, who who am I? Where am I? And what did I do with myself? Right? There's so many things that it helps with, though. It definitely is legal in all of the states. And how it works in the body is it goes into our endocannabinoid system. If anything has a spine, you have an endocannabinoid system. This system is responsible to help our nervous system. All of our systems actually help together or work together. And so hemp goes in and it goes into these cannabinoid parking spaces, so to speak, that are depleted and that need that gap filled. Cannabinoids are actually created in our body naturally. A lot of people will say, oh, but I'm breastfeeding or pregnant, so I probably can't take it. There's cannabinoids in your breast milk. So this is literally a plant that God put on this earth for us to thrive. And it's one that should have been glorified years ago, but instead it was demonized because people wanted to hide it and get rich in other ways. But that's a story for another day. So, what sets us apart in the CBD industry is that we are USDA certified organic, including the soil with a 5 mile radius. So, every single thing that you get is USDA certified organic. This is a very difficult stamp to get. We actually sit on the board for organic hemp in the United States. We're a big part of setting the standard for what hemp should be. We're vertically integrated, which means we have our hands in the process from the beginning to the end. So, we plant it, we grow it, we harvest it. The farmers walk in the soil, in the fields, and they hand pick the flowers to the plant. There are no machines on the soil. They are literally hand picking the flowers, and then we use only the flowers. We use a CO2 extraction process, which is the cleanest way to do that. A lot of other places are going to use harsh chemicals to extract. We use CO2, and we only use the flower of the plant. A lot of places use all the aerial parts of the plant too, which give more uh, quantity and less quality, where we're all about a higher quality and a lower quantity, because that's where you actually start feeling the difference. So only using that hemp flower is huge. With that being said, I am so grateful that I got to start this evening with you and share some really vulnerable spaces of my life because I know that it's helped me so much. And just a little education about hemp and CBD in case you weren't familiar. I know that Jocelyn has been one of my dear friends for a long time, and her story is powerful as well. And I'm really grateful because I'm a part of her story as we're all a part, like here together. And it's just so amazing to not only be able to share vulnerably, but know that she has such a powerful, vulnerable story to share as well. So I'm going to hand it over to Jocelyn.
Thank you, Lindsay. Oh my gosh. And like Lindsay said, this is such an amazing community where everybody is interconnected and everybody gets pulled in by someone that they know and they trust and they've built this great relationship with. And it just helps us to create this really neat community where we can be vulnerable and we can share about the issues that we're having and we can problem solve together. So if someone invited you here tonight, I want you to make sure to reach out and say thank you to them because they care about you deeply and they want you to hear about what these amazing products can do for you. So, like Lindsay said, I'm Jocelyn. Everybody calls me Joss. I am a mom of 4 kids in 6 years. So, it's wild over here. There's never a dull moment. So, if you hear children squealing and squawking in the background, just know my husband's on duty. So, it'll be okay. But, we're just going to kind of try to tune that out. So, I got started with Green Compass about a year ago. So, I had, like I said, I have 4 small children, and I was 1 year postpartum from our fourth. And I was really struggling with anxiety and stress and being just overstimulated. And I have all 4 kids at home. My husband travels a lot for work, and our closest family is 15 hours away. So there's no one for me to really tag out with. And in the past, years ago, I had tried some different pharmaceuticals to help me with some of those issues, but it just did not make my body feel right, feel well. I didn't feel like myself, and I didn't feel comfortable going down that route with 4 small kids. And Lindsay had actually shared with me about 6 months prior. And I actually joined and I bought some product to support my friend because I love Lindsay and I trust her and I want to always see, my friends thrive. But I didn't take these products consistently when I first started. And fast forward 6 months, when I was really struggling, I reached back out to her and I was like, lady, I need help. I need help. I know this is working for you. Tell me exactly what I need and how I need to, utilize this. And I got to tell you, as I learned, number one, not all CBD is created equal. The stuff that my husband had bought years ago that never did anything for me, I now know why, because of all the things that Lindsay just said. But then I also found out that consistency is key. This is like, think of it like a multivitamin. You need to be putting those things in your body so that way your body can work effectively and efficiently. So I found for me personally, the things that helped me, that supported me, I'm going to go in and show you the products a little bit, but I found that I was able to sleep through the night. I was able to calm my nervous system instead of feeling like I was a balloon that I was constantly filling and filling and filling, and then I would pop. And then I would have all this mom guilt because I didn't want to pop over the silly little things that my kids were doing just because they're kids and because life is happening. My body, my nervous system just wasn't in a place where I could handle the typical chaos of having these 4 small, beautiful babies. So for me, when I started utilizing these consistently and I was able to better handle and manage the norm that was going on around my house, not to sound cliche, but it really was a life-changing moment for me. I was able to be the mom that I wanted my kids to have. I was able to self-regulate. And not only was I sleeping, self-regulating, but then I found my hormone health was coming into balance, that my inflammation was dropping, that my gut health improved. And I really decided that this is something so helpful. And I decided to then share these products with our kids. My kids have a number of different ailments and issues, just like, everybody else in the world. And these products are safe and regulated. And I felt so confident that because these helped my body so much, I could also let my children have them to experience those helpful properties as well. And then we shared it with our dog and my husband and my grandparents. And it just became this big movement that I was like, I have to tell everybody about this because it's helping everybody in my close personal circle. So, some of the things that help us so much, the things that got me jump started, was our full spectrum. So, absolutely amazing. So, this is CBD, has CBD, 25 milligrams plus a teeny little bit of THC. And research has shown when it's clean, it's organic, small amount of THC, it is so good for helping your body with that full body calm. So, I like to take this one at the end of the night. It helps me with restful sleep, helps to relax my body, my mind, reduce inflammation. Amazing product. Now, with that, for people that maybe aren't wanting to do THC, or maybe, you have a job that you drug test, we have a broad spectrum. Our broad spectrum is 25 milligrams of CBD, but zero THC. This is the one that my kids take daily. So they take half of one of these in the morning, and it has more of that mental calm, but also the reduction of inflammation, helps to ease and reduce the inflammation of the nerve endings around the gut. So it's really helpful for people that may even have food sensitivities. My kids, we can't do gluten or dairy, and this has been something that has helped to reduce our symptoms if we accidentally, get one of those um, gluten or dairy or things that we're sensitive to in our bodies. Another thing that's really helpful with gut health is our digestive jellies. So my kids also love this one. We do half. It actually has apple cider vinegar in there. So this is something that I love for someone that is really struggling with gut health. Um, our digestive jellies, the CBD, and then right there in the center, we have our CBG collagen. Those three right there, I feel like are the trifecta for people that are dealing with gut health issues. And our CBG collagen. So when we think collagen, we usually think hair, skin, and nails, right? Well, yes, it helps with those things, but at a deeper level. It helps people that are dealing with true diagnostic issues with hair, skin, and nails. It also really helps with muscle and joints. And then the CBG is they call it the mother of all cannabinoids. It is an amazing cannabinoid, just like CBD is a cannabinoid, THC is a cannabinoid, CBG, they're all different parts of the plant. But the CBG has been found to specifically really get in there and target those little nerve endings around the gut, and help with a lot of those issues. Something else that has been hugely supportive for me is our functional mushroom line. And we have something that's called our Mind Bloom. So these are capsules, and it's really great for focus, for concentration, for brain health. And then it has organic sage in it. And organic sage has been shown to help with hormone health. So this has been so supportive for me because of those hormone imbalances that I had been having. So I take two of these guys in the morning. Helps me with concentration, focus, kind of that ADHD brain that I have going on, and also with hormones. So absolutely amazing. Love, love, love this one. And then our other really great functional mushroom product is our Immune Bloom jellies. This one also has elderberry in there. So not only does it have all of these great functional mushrooms, so again, there's non-psychedelic, there's nothing in there, we're not talking mushrooms, that people talk about from the 70s. These are functional and they're amazing. My kids take half of one of these in the morning to help strengthen their immune systems and also calm their bodies. So absolutely amazing product. Love our functional mushrooms. Um, and then a couple other things that I just wanted to touch on that is hugely supportive. So CBDA, this one, another cannabinoid, this one works on different pain receptors than our CBD. So when you pair CBD and CBDA, you're going to get the most potent effect to help with pain, with inflammation. Um, and it's amazing for headaches, for nausea, for migraines. I love to keep a bottle of this in my purse because I was someone that was really prone to headaches and migraines. And with my autoimmune conditions, with the pain, with the inflammation, if I have a flare up, I'll do a quarter dropper of this. And within 20 minutes, I feel some relief. And it may not be completely gone, but it's on its way there. And my gosh, for anybody that deals with headaches and migraines and flare-ups, getting relief in that short amount of time is a game changer. And it is such an amazing product. It can be used instead of an NSAID, instead of like an ibuprofen or an Aleve. This is a natural, holistic option that you can reach for. Um, and we had talked about doing a little giveaway too tonight. So I wanted to touch on something that we have right now that's really exciting that just came out for summer is our Buzz. So Buzz is our natural, holistic, organic bug repellent. It's so good, and I have some little kiddos that are mosquitoes are just drawn to them. Does anybody else like mosquitoes? Just like if there's one out there, it finds you. Like that's my kids. And then when they get bit, like we ended up in the ER 3 times this year because they're allergic to the mosquito saliva. Like that's a thing. And we live in Houston, which the mosquito is like the state bird of of our Texas here. And I was like, I need a resource that helps to keep the bugs away. And then I also need something to help me reduce this swelling for her if she is bit. So the Buzz is amazing to keep them away. And then I have found that our Soothe. So it is a topical cream that we have that is so gentle and so wonderful, but it has shea butter, aloe vera, and then it has our full spectrum hemp flower extract in there. And I just rub a little bit of it surrounding the bug bite, and it helps to reduce that inflammation. It helps to ease the discomfort. It's been a game changer this summer for us. So that's just a little bit of the lineup that we have with some of our products. We also have tinctures, which are droppers if you don't want to do a jelly. We have amazing pain cream. There are so many great options. There's something here for everybody. So I highly recommend that you reach out to the person that chatted with you and tell them exactly what you're dealing with. Tell them the ailments, because sometimes you don't know what the vast um, support that CBD and functional mushrooms can do for the body. Um, we have a couple of really great promotions happening right now. And it's where you can really get just such an amazing value and bang for your buck with purchase. We have something that's called the Balance and Restore Pack, where we actually have a buy one, get one free option. And then an additional add-on for that product to be 50% off. So the savings is just massive and wonderful. And we have the option that, you can just buy as a retail customer and just purchase and enjoy. We have the option of jumping on as a preferred customer where you can purchase and save 20% off of all of our products. And then we even have the option where you could join with one of our amazing bundles. We call them our advocate kits, and you can utilize these products, save and earn by just sharing what's helping you with others in your circle, people around you that may also really need and benefit from our products. And I think that's where we're going to wrap it up tonight. I'm going to encourage you to reach out to the person who invited you to this call, whether it was live or if you're catching the replay, and just dive in. Really trust and know that we are here to help and support. And we want you to feel your best self, where your body can work and function efficiently and adequately so you can have energy. You can find that gentle shift where you find some of those symptoms and issues just gently dissipating. It's a wonderful place to be. And we are so grateful that you spent the evening with us. And we look forward to welcoming you here with open arms and joining us.
Yes, I love that so much. Thanks, Joss. Do you want to, really quick, live in front of everyone, how do we want to go about the giveaway? Do we want to do it live tonight, or do we want to do a 24-hour, whether you're live or because we did have a huge amount for the replay? If you watched the replay, um, how would you like to work this?
Let's do that. I think
Okay.
that's great. So we'll reconvene in 24 hours and we're going to talk about who joined. And we're going to pull a name from a hat. And you are going to get a bottle of our Buzz. Sorry, I held up the wrong one. So we're going to send some Buzz to you. You are going to love it. It's amazing and it's a necessity for the summer. So make sure, share. And if you share this, with someone else, maybe we'll throw your name in the hat too.
Perfect. I love it so much. So just get with the advocate, like she said, make sure that the advocate shares with Jocelyn or I your order number and that you are set and on your journey, and we'll be in touch in 24 hours then. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Thanks, Jess.
Thank you.